Yo, what's going on, gamers, and welcome back to the Consortium. Patch notes 1.10 are upon us. A lot of these notes are things we saw mentioned in the last blog post from the devs, but there are also a few hidden gems. I think the star of the notes, and again it was mentioned in an earlier tweet this week, that Friday during the Game Awards at 7 p.m. PST, the details on the new limited time game mode will be released. One point I wanted to hit on is that I think the limited time part of the statement, many people were taking this to mean the game mode itself would have some sort of timer. I believe that they are just referring to the fact that it will only be an event that's around during the Christmas season. Any of you whom have played the PvE will recognize this idea because Epic Games has done this before. They have game modes that are only in the game for a month or two at a time, and then they are removed from the game, again to be followed up with another new game mode. Either way, though, I'm excited to see what they have stored for us. They will be implanting the new UI. I put it up on screen again for those of you who may not have seen it yet. They emphasized it was to ease a lot of the pain points for both controller and mouse players. They asked for feedback on their forums, Reddit, and Discord. The chance of getting bandages from treasure chests and supply drops has been lowered by 35%. Hopefully this leads to better overall drops from those locations. This one we have all been waiting for, but the aim assist on controllers has been reduced. Leading with the sniper rifle should now be easier, as well as targeting a player that is strafing around a downed teammate. The new update system allows for easy changes according to the devs, so if needed they can improve it easily, and again they asked to hear our feedback so they can continue to tweak the system. They improved the network priority for doors, which reduces the likelihood of seeing players run through a closed door. This is something I hated a lot because it would definitely mess up close-range gunfights. They improved the network priority for chests, which reduces the likelihood of them appearing to remain closed for a short time after opening them. This will be very nice for those early game rushes when you're trying to get a weapon before the next guy, but you can't because you keep trying to open an already open chest. Players will no longer fall through the world if they're eliminated while jumping. Gliders will no longer deploy if a player uses a launch pad in the down but not out state. Player will no longer jitter while falling or skydiving. Dancing no longer goes on cooldown if it fails to play. Chest and attics will no longer spawn loot on roofs or outside walls. This is a nice quality of life change. Fixed an issue which caused players to sometimes survive fatal fall damage with 1 hit point. Fixed an issue causing teammates' names to jitter. Fixed an error message that players would sometimes receive when being invited to a Battle Royale match when they hadn't completed the Save the World tutorial mission yet. Another big change coming is removed tracers from the Silenced Smg. The Silenced Smg just became an even deadlier weapon because you won't know what direction the shots are coming from. I think we will see this used a lot more in the game, especially by the bush lovers. Sniper rifles no longer reload while in the scoped view. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not sure it made a big difference in the game, but they put it in there. They fixed an issue which prevented grenades from exploding. This is huge because currently how it is, it's basically RNG whether or not your grenade would explode. Fixed an issue which caused crosshairs to disappear if a sniper rifle was fired right before the battle bus took off. Fixed several issues with the smoke grenade effect. Smoke effects now appear the same in and outside of the storm. Players can no longer see through the smoke effects when using a scope from within the smoke, so you no longer have that advantage, and players will no longer experience a flash effect when multiple smoke grenades go off at once. Next up, we have the audio changes. They've reduced the volume for ambient trap sounds and made them less frequent. I'm excited about this because you can see more traps being used because it won't be quite as obvious when you're around them. They did add a new warning sound that activates when a player approaches a ceiling or wall trap though. Teammate footsteps now sound quieter than enemies. If you are spectating a player, their footsteps are quieter. Added a different footstep sounds for wood, stone, metal, and dirt, grass surfaces. It's now easier to hear footsteps through walls. Added terminal velocity wind sound when falling from large heights, and impact pain sounds from when taking damage from falling. Increased the audio range for the sniper gunshot from 180 meters to 250 meters. Reduced gunshot sound volume for tactical shotguns. It does not affect the audio range. Reduced volume of revolver, equip, reload, and fire sounds. New sounds for medkit, shield potion, and slurp juice consumables. It is now easier to hear the sound of another player gliding towards you after using the launch pad. Won't be quite as easy to get those endgame clips. All audio for the dancey mode is now adjusted with the FSX slider instead of music. Wind volume reacts more dynamically while skydiving or using a glider. Removed low frequency content in the ticking clock sound that plays prior to the storm eye shrinking. These frequencies could have previously been mistaken for footsteps while running. Moving on to the performance issues. Improved general frame rate when multiple characters are nearby. Improved server performance by reducing the number of redundant movements sent from clients. Improved Xbox One rendering by reducing CPU stalls. Improved performance when rendering lighting and shadows. Improved performance when rendering bushes and other clutter objects. Improved game thread performance by converting more game logic from BPS to C++. Improved UI performance. Improved PhysX performance. Improved CPU performance on Xbox One and Windows by tweaking thread priorities. Improved performance of particle systems by adding batching. Improved performance of animation trail effects and particles. Improved performance when using the glider. Optimized particles associated with players and weapons. Optimized audio for the safe zone indicator. Tweaked how often animations update and optimize many other animation systems. Reduced general hitching by optimizing garbage collection of objects loaded within the memory. Reduced network bandwidth used when spawning players into a match. Fixed a server performance issue caused by building actors that moved every frame. Fixed a server performance issue where rubber banding could be caused when jumping out of the battle bus. Fixed various hitches that could occur during the gameplay. Now we can move on to the UI. You can now view your personal stats and experience gained at the end of the match or when spectating. You can now choose to abandon one of your daily challenges each day. Added Net Debug Stats panel to the Battle Royale UI. This can be enabled by going to Settings, Game, HUD, Net Debug Stats. The setting displays ping, bandwidth, packets per second, and packet loss for both uploading and downloading. Added the option to send a friend invite to squad mates on the spectator and victory screens. This is only for PC and Mac. Added some look and feel polish to the matchmaking buttons. Added a warning message that activates when players attempt to disguise themselves as a bush while already disguised. Replaced the 60-second warm-up timer with waiting for players. Increased the size of the large map so it takes up more screen space when open. The revive timer now shows the revive progress for both keyboard and controller players. The bug fixes. Sensitivity sliders for the mouse and gamepad now stop at 0.1 instead of 0.00. Disconnected squad mates will now remain on the HUD. Character models inspected and saved the world will no longer be displayed in the locker tab. The up button on the D-pad no longer closes the inventory tab while using the Pro Controller layout. Settings will now properly save when players apply them and back out of the menu quickly. Added descriptions to equipped items in the locker tab. Storm zone graphics will no longer flicker when the storm begins to close in. You can now report players that have Unicode and Chinese characters in their names. Fixed the timers on the Global Wins leaderboard. When knocked down by the storm, the elimination message will now properly read, "Player was knocked down by the storm." Spectating. Bug fixes. Smoke grenades effects are now visible to spectators when watching a player within the smoke. Fixed bug where teammates could be visible while spectating them. Scoped visuals will no longer be stuck on screen while switching between players in spectate mode. And there you have it. Those are the 1.10 patch notes. As you can see, it's quite a loaded patch that will be released tonight at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it will be up and running tomorrow. Again, I appreciate everybody for checking out the channel and for all the support you have shown. Let me know down below other videos you would like to see, or just any comments in general you have on Fortnite. I appreciate every one of you, and I hope you all have a good one.